Greetings and welcome once again to my new calculus channel. My name is John Gabriel. So in part 2 of Learning the Right Way, I talked about the mainstream interpretations of polynomial long division and concepts such as zero and factors in algebra. And so I showed how the misinterpretation of zero in division occurs. So for example, you have mainstream academics thinking that a certain number, such as, let's say, denoted by k over 0, means that it's undefined. Well, it's not only undefined, it's nonsense, okay? So, and the second point I emphasized was that factors emerge from division when one magnitude clearly or exactly measures another. So, and then I also talked about the critique of extending the factor concept. So applying the concept of factors to real numbers like pi. In fact, there's no such thing as a real number, but it introduces contradictions because pi cannot be measured exactly by 1. And then I gave you a connection to cadus, which shows that proper understanding of division ensures consistent knowledge acquisition, avoiding flawed foundational concepts. So with a flawed understanding of division, number, and everything else that follows from it, mainstream mathematics has become impossible to learn, impossible to teach, impossible to progress. Okay, so the point of learning the correct way is so that a student of mathematics can proceed to master the contents. And so what I'd like to discuss in this video, which is basically the last one I think I'll produce, is that we must shift the focus from set theory. Okay. So set theory shouldn't be in mathematics because it's not mathematics. So instead of dividing abstract sets or objects, we need to emphasize division in terms of measurable magnitudes, lengths, areas, etc. And also in geometry, division involves a ratio between two magnitudes, and that should be the basis for understanding division and number rather than equal sharing, okay, which lacks precision, which lacks meaning, because in certain instances you can't do equal sharing. If you're dividing by 1, there is no equal sharing, okay? And then secondly, you need to introduce division as a ratio of magnitudes early. So when teaching division, you start with the idea of comparing one magnitude to another, and you express this comparison as a ratio. So for example, if one line is twice as long as another, division by measure answers how many times the one fits into the other. And then you can clarify the concept of remainder in terms of magnitudes. So you should also bear in mind that fraction needs to be taught as a measure of ratios because fractions are numbers and numbers are fractions. Okay, so early you need to connect the concept of a fraction to the division of magnitudes, showing that fractions represent the division of one magnitude by another. And this geometric interpretation reinforces the idea of fractional division as measurable, not arbitrary. And so these are some important points that you can follow. And what I'll be doing is uh, I'll give you a takeaways list from this last video. And of course, I'll place a link to this free book, which, by the way, I was selling for a while. But because it's so important, I've decided to give it to you free. It's full of incredible information that you've never seen before, stuff that you've misunderstood, that you've been taught incorrectly. And if you really want to teach mathematics properly and learn how to understand all these concepts correctly, this is the book you need to study. So, and I'm giving it to you free. It's free with a watermark. And if you want to get the actual book without a watermark, then you need to get it on Amazon Kindle. And I'll place a link to that as well. So if you're not already subscribed on my channel, become a subscriber. Click like on my video, tell your friends about this, and I'll be chatting with you again soon. My name is John Gabriel. This is New Calculus Channel. Goodbye.